In intercept form, you might have the equation that looks something like this. And what I would ask you in this would be very similar questions. Which way does this one open, up or down? Again, you look for your multiplier, your your coefficient in front. In this case, it's a -2. So we know it's going to open down. So our graph is going to look like this. Okay. Can you identify your vertex based just solely on what you see here? No. We're going to use our calculator for that. Okay. And the axis of symmetry as well. We'll have to use our calculator for, but once again, we do know it's going to be x equals whatever this x-coordinate of our vertex is. Okay, there's a couple things, though, that you can solve just by looking at this, and that is your x-intercepts. Okay. When I ask for your x-intercepts, I'll usually ask it in this form, the lower or the greater. The lower means furthest to the left on the number line. The greater means furthest to the right on the number line. Okay, so when you look at these, when you look at the factors, the intercept form gives it to you in factors. And so all you need to do is identify what values of x would give you zeros in each of these factors. So for this first factor, what value of x would give you a 0 here? -1. So that's one of your x-intercepts. The x-intercepts are going to have y coordinates of 0. And then your other x-intercept is, what value of x gives you a 0 here? 7. And notice I wrote them in this form because -1 is further to the left on the number line, 7 is further to the right. Okay, so I can answer those questions just by looking at it. And then the x-intercept, the y-intercept, I am probably going to want to use my calculator to solve this. Again, you do know one part of it, though. What coordinate do you know is going to be true or always constant in a y-intercept? 0 will always be your x-coordinate. Okay, so here's what we're looking for to complete this problem. Right, and so when we graph this, again, we're going to start with the same first step. We're going to enter the equation in the y editor, and we can enter it just as it is. We don't need to expand it or anything. We can simply enter our equation. Oops. And when we do, we can now view our graph. You have the same check system, depending on whether this fits the window or not. You might have to adjust your viewing window. So in this case, do we see where the vertex is? No. If we don't adjust our calculators, what's going to happen when we try to find the vertex here, this maximum, is if we put, let's say, a lower bound of -10 again and an upper bound of 10, again, just to make sure it gives us that information. In this particular case, it shows us, but you may have, your calculator may tell you that it's out of range, or the solution's out of range. Okay? So it's ideal to be able to view the entire graph. So in order to adjust that, we could see here that we do need to get a y up to 32. So when we change our window, our x's are fine. Our y min was fine. Our y max, though, we need to change it. So I'm going to exaggerate it, move it up to 50, just to make sure that it falls within the viewing window. And so here's our graph. We can now see the whole thing. And so when we plug in to solve for our vertex, again, we're using the F5 Math tab. This time we're going to choose our vertex is a maximum. So when we select this, we're going to choose number 4, maximum. Once again, choose a lower bound that's to the left of your vertex, upper bound to the right. Is our crosshair or cursor to the left of our vertex? Yeah, so I can just leave it right where it is. Now, is our crosshair to the right of the vertex here for our upper bound? No, so I need to pick a number that falls to the right of this point. So I am just going to type in the number 10, and that gives me my solution. And now, when you look at this, do you think the answer is going to be 2.9999? No. If it gives you that decimal form, you can go ahead and round it. Okay, so our vertex is at 332. Okay, so in this particular case, we found the maximum. Okay, and so what is our axis of symmetry going to be? X equals 3. It's going to be a vertical line that passes right through. Okay, and then we want to find our y-intercept. Can we do that in this screen? If we just go to the Math tab, F5, we can now choose the value. And all you have to do is enter 0 for your value, because your y-intercept is where your x-coordinate is 0. So when you choose 0 and hit enter, it gives you that y-intercept of 14. And so you're able to